What is going on, 27 Squad? Welcome back into another video. Today, we're going to do something a little different today. I came across this amazing video by that franchise guy. If you guys don't know who he is, Marcus Whitman. He came out with a deep dive video for the New York Giants, and I absolutely have to say he did such an amazing job with this. I really wanted to go out and react to it and kind of give my thoughts as he goes on with it. It is a 2-hour long video. Yes, I went from beginning to end. I listened to it while I was at work and also looked at all of his graphics as well. And we are not gonna sit through it. I'm gonna be, going through stills of different stuff in his graphics. It's kind of very much presented like a Madden roster. If you guys play Madden, it's going to be very easy for you guys to follow along. I'm a gamer myself, so is Marcus Whitman, and he did a fantastic job at it. There are some stuff that I agree with, some stuff I disagree with. I think it will be a fun little activity for us to do together. And Marcus, if you come across this video, I hope you're okay with me kind of going through your deep dive a little bit. I'm going to leave the link in the description below for the full entire video. 2-hour video, great deep dive. And he also had a Bengals fan on there for whatever reason. So I don't know why he didn't just ask me instead, but it is what it is. Of course, that is all jokes. He had Bengal, who is a New York Giants fan, one of the biggest New York Giants content creators out here. I guess you can call him a Giants content creator, gamer content creator, something like that. But they had a great discussion as well. And yeah, go ahead and check out that video and subscribe to him if you're not. All right, so let's start off with the quarterbacks. Now you guys know what I'm saying. He kind of presents it like a Madden style roster, so you guys can follow along like Madden Ultimate Team. So you got the certain abilities up here and like certain ratings for certain stuff, and then you have his overall rating right there. So I think this would be great to follow along, especially if you're a Madden player. And he also went through like coaches and kind of ranked the scheme and ranked the passing game, running game, all that stuff. But you guys can check the link in the description below and watch the whole video for that context. We're just going to be focusing on the roster. He also went over the upgrades and downgrades as well, if you guys are interested in that. So we're going to skip over that. Now, you guys can see the quarterback tiers: elite, inconsistently elite, franchise quarterback, good starter, adequate starter. I mean, his content is absolutely great. The way he grades stuff is so easy to follow and so specific. It's not like put into these like random tiers or anything like that. He really distinguishes each tier and it makes it easier to follow. And so he gave Daniel Jones, if you watch the video, he gives Daniel Jones a lot of grace here. Something I did not expect, especially from a non-Giants fan. He's a Green Bay Packers fan. Especially from a non-Giants fan, I really didn't expect him to give any grace. I don't expect anybody to give any grace to Daniel Jones because I know what it looks like from the outside looking in. And of course, from the inside looking around, it's not great either. But he gives Daniel Jones a lot of grace. He says that he is a starter in this league, which I also agree with. I think Daniel Jones is a starting quarterback in this league. I know a lot of people think that he's the worst quarterback to ever grace the football field. He is not. Daniel Jones is not the worst football player ever or the worst quarterback in the league right now. He's just not. Or the worst starting quarterback. He's just not. He has a lot of good attributes, has a lot of good abilities, and I think it's just everything is between the ears. I'm not saying he's stupid or anything like that. I'm saying that he gets flustered pretty quickly, and that's something that the Giants have done to quarterbacks in the past. Most notably Eli Manning at the end of his career. Eric Flowers was to thank for that. So you can see here B+ rushing. He also talks about how much of a threat he is in the rushing game, which is definitely a big strong suit for Daniel Jones. 74 passing. He has that injured, of course, because he's coming off an injury. And 76 overall. Then you got Drew Lock and Tommy DeVito over here, 65 overall apiece. I would probably put Drew Lock a little ahead just because he's done a little bit more in the league. But Tommy DeVito, I guess you could leave at 65. He had a decent rookie career, but I don't think it's anything to put over 65. That's like a normal like backup grade in Madden. So I would put Drew Lock a little higher, but I'm actually okay with 76 overall for Daniel Jones. I would have expected a lot less. I was probably expecting somewhere around the 71, 72, somewhere around where Madden really rates him right now. So this is right around like a high rookie grade. So 78 overall. Then you got 76 for Darius Slayton. 75. Wanda, I'm okay with this. I really think Bellinger should be higher. Bellinger, especially as much of a dual threat as he is, as a really good blocker, both in the run game and passing game. And he's really developed, in my opinion, and really shown that he can be a pass-catching tight end, something that he didn't do much of in San Diego State. They barely utilized him there, but he was able to show that, especially in his rookie year in 2022, how good he can be as a pass-catching tight end. I think it should be higher than 70. And then you have, this is Devin Singletary in the passing game, is a C+. To be honest with you, this is exactly where it should be. A lot of people think that since Devin Singletary is 5'7", that automatically thinks everybody thinks he's Darren Sproles, he's a pass-catching back. He's not. He's never been a pass-catching back. He's a running, between the tackles type of running back, even though he is smaller. So think of like a Frank Gore almost. Even Frank Gore, I think Frank Gore caught the ball at the backfield as well, but you know what I mean. Then you got the depth players. So that little rotating thing means rotating starter. These are guys that could possibly start. He really has a little bit of a high for Isaiah McKenzie. He has him at 74 overall. I don't think he should be that high. And he also said that Isaiah McKenzie may take starting spots like rotating games with Wan'Dale Robinson. That franchise guy thinks that Brian Dable isn't in love with Isaiah McKenzie, and going back to the Buffalo days, and that he's going to take reps from Wan'Dale Robinson. I don't think that is the case at all. I think Wan'Dale Robinson, the way they talked about him all throughout these past couple of seasons, they really see a lot in him. It's all about if he can stay on the field. I think so long as Wan'Dale Robinson is healthy, he will always be that slot wide receiver unless there's fatigue involved and Isaiah McKenzie comes in. Allen Robinson, yeah, I don't know if he makes the team. There's a lot of outside receivers on this team. I just don't know if he makes it. I don't know if they prioritize a Bryce Ford Wheaton to try to develop him rather than have Allen Robinson, who is 29, 30 years old right now. I think we can still use him as well as Isaiah Hodgins. I really don't know why we still have Isaiah Hodgins either. If we have Allen Robinson, but let's see what happens at the end. You got Theo Johnson over here. These are all 65 overalls. And he also said that the Giants have one of the worst rosters in the NFL, which I agree with. The Giants do have one of the worst rosters in the NFL. It's not even the worst rosters. It's a lot of unproven, inexperienced talent. That's pretty much what it is. So let's move on here. All right, so now we're moving on to the running game. You guys can see he put the still of Daniel Jones in that infamous Philadelphia Eagles game falling to the ground. But he did give him a good grade in the run game. And then you got Devin Singletary. This is his overall, 80 overall. I thought was pretty gracious. I didn't think he would give him a 80 overall grade. A lot of people don't really think of Devin Singletary that highly. I like Devin Singletary a lot going back to his Buffalo days. I thought they really underutilized him. They just didn't like running the ball with running backs in Buffalo. They just ran with Josh Allen if they needed to pick up some tough yardage. But going into the Texans, he really showed that he can be a starter in this league, and he could be a guy you rely on in the run game. And so I like his overall here. You got Eric Gray at 67. I don't like Eric Gray that much at all, to be honest with you. I liked him coming out of Oklahoma when I did a lot more research on him, but I just didn't like him in the NFL. He just looked a lot slower, in my honest opinion. He just looked very slow. All right, so Tyrone Tracy. Okay, this is just me because I'm a Tyrone Tracy stan, right? I think he should be higher than this, to be honest with you. If you just watch him, the way he ran at Purdue, franchise guy, Marcus doesn't have a lot of, he doesn't have the developmental traits where you got superstar development and regular development, stuff like that. I would put Tyrone Tracy in superstar development because he has 1 year under his belt, and the sky's the limit for that kid. So 67 I think is a little too low, but like I said, he has the eyes there. Watch out for Tyrone Tracy. That can definitely change. That can definitely be a lot higher. A lot of people even think that Tyrone Tracy could be the starter towards the end of the season for the Giants over a Devin Singletary, and it could happen. It could very well happen. He doesn't have ratings for these guys. He has Tommy DeVito as an adequate guy in the run game from the quarterback position. All right, so now we got the offensive line. This is where we get a little bit more depressing, okay? Offensive line overall, C minus, 27th in the NFL. Pass blocking, C. Run blocking, C minus. You can go down the line. He's got Andrew Thomas at an 89 overall. It's fair. I don't know. Like, Andrew Thomas had a fantastic 2022 season, right? That's where the non-Giants fans, the NFL fans, really started to know who Andrew Thomas was. Then you go into 2023. Yes, he struggled with a lot of injuries, but when he does play, he plays absolutely fantastic. And you know, although he hasn't had the season he did in 2022 when he was playing, it's still up there. He's still one of the best tackles in the NFL, and people are like taking him out the top 10 now. 89 overall. I still think Andrew Thomas is like a swift 92, 93 overall. If I'm being honest with you, I trust Andrew Thomas with my life if he's healthy. If he's healthy, I trust Andrew Thomas with my life, okay? If an elephant were charging at me, I would want Andrew Thomas to be right there in front of me, and I know I'm going to be alive at the end of the day. So, then you go down the list. I mean, he has him as a star. I think he should be elite. I think he's one of the most upper echelon tackles in the NFL. But he has him as star. I'll take it. He has him as a stud run blocker and a star pass blocker. This is fair for me. I'll take that. Jermaine Illuminar, now he's at left guard. Now the secret's kind of out. Everybody knows it. Has him as a 74 overall. That's cool. John Michael Schmitz, very low compared to how high Marcus had John Michael Schmitz. He had him as a first round guy. He had the Giants drafting him in the first round. He put him all the way down to 67 overall with a 65 pass block. I mean, he did struggle. I don't know if a part of it was the product of just having a terrible offensive line. He also dealt with some injuries, and also him being a rookie, playing a very, very hard position to play as a rookie, being a center. So let's see how it goes how it goes this year. But I was right at the end of the day. John Michael Schmitz, I don't care what circumstances happen, John Michael Schmitz was not worth a first round pick. That's something I am right on. I wanted Deonte Banks. We got Deonte Banks. I wanted John Michael Schmitz in the second round, and we did that. So I am Joe Shane. Now we got John Runyon. John Runyon is known to be a pass blocker, even though he's given up a couple of sacks in the passing game, if I'm not mistaken. The past couple, I think last year he gave up a decent amount of sacks. I'm not too enthusiastic about him, okay? He's someone that has to prove it to me to really like get on board with this. I still think the offensive line is in really bad shape. I know we didn't pay John Runyon big money, and that is a plus. That's a win. We didn't have to overpay for a guy. But at the same time, I don't know if we really have something in John Runyon. Is he an upgrade? Absolutely. That's not saying much. You can put the cashier at Publix on the offensive line, and he's going to do a better job. Okay? He's going to be an upgrade. So that's not saying much. So let's see how much of an upgrade John Runyon is, but 75 overall. And then you have Evan Neal, who's at 64 overall, and he is like, he's that X Factor, man. And I'm not saying X Factor in a good way. I'm saying X Factor in a bad way. He is the guy, if his success really determines the success of the entire offensive line. If he is still just as bad as he was these past 3 seasons, this whole offensive line is going to be in trouble. They gave up 85 sacks last year. Granted, a lot of it was injuries. Andrew Thomas was out. I get it. But we have to improve on that by at least a good 40 sacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a lot of work to do. All right, now let's look on the bright side. Now let's get a little bit more optimistic here. We've got the defensive line, which is arguably the strongest, group of the entire New York Giants team going into 2024. Obviously, a big part of that is elite Dexter Lawrence, man. Seeing that purple there, 89 rush as a nose tackle. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm just going to say Dexter Lawrence transcended the nose tackle position, man. I mean, he is changing. If you guys have not watched Dexter Lawrence, there's so many NFL fans that think that Dexter Lawrence is just a star defensive tackle. Like, man, yeah, the Giants have a good defensive tackle in Dexter Lawrence. You don't know how good he actually is. He is the best pass rushing nose tackle of all time. I'm going to keep saying it every time I hear Dexter Lawrence's name. He is the best pass rushing nose tackle of all time. Watch this man play. There is no reason, there is no way you could explain to me scientifically how a man that is 6'4 or 6'5, something like that, big dude, 345 pounds, or like 342, and he moves like that. And he's able to get to the passer like that. He's able to chase down quarterbacks like that, who are a good 120 pounds lighter than this man. Dexter Lawrence moves. And everybody keeps comparing him to Warren Sapp, right? You're not watching him then. Warren Sapp is a whole like 40 pounds lighter than Dexter Lawrence was. In fact, Warren Sapp came into the NFL at a swift, slim 281 pounds. That is so small. That is, we're talking almost like a Kalijah Cansey size, right? He's small. That is borderline a freaking defensive end, okay? We're talking nose tackle. We're talking the big dudes. The guys that are supposed to be the impenetrable object that you try to get through in the run game. That's what his job is supposed to be. And he ended up being one of the best pass rushers from the interior that we have seen in a long time, especially at his size. So, you ask me, I'm taking Dexter Lawrence almost over just about everybody. I love Chris Jones. I think he also is a guy that really changed the defensive tackle position. But Dexter Lawrence, I mean, he's a big dude. And he moves like that. And he's that fast. Come on, man. Come on. So, enough gushing and glazing Dexter Lawrence. But, bro, he is that guy. This is well-deserved here. 95 overall, I'll take it. 96 in the run game, 89 in the pass rushing game. So let's move on to the second highest player here, Brian Burns. Now, Brian Burns, I know a lot of people may think that he should be higher than this. This is exactly where I would put him. 84, 85. I probably wouldn't go to an 86 range yet. Brian Burns is great, but he has not gotten to the level that a lot of people think that he's on just yet. He still hasn't reached that potential yet. He is a consistent player. He is a good player, if not a great player. He's not anywhere near where he could be. Brian Burns, the way he moves and the way his body, his frame is, and I mean, it screams top 5 edge rusher in the league. That's what everybody's waiting to see. And that's what he got paid as. He got paid like $27, possibly $30 million a year over 5 years. To be that guy one day. So hopefully he does. But 84 right now, I'm okay with. He's not great against the run game, and that really kind of brings him down a couple of notches, but he's excellent in pass rush. I thought Kayvon Thibodeau should be a little higher. I thought we should give him a little bit more grace. I get it. The 11.5 sacks, his pass rush win rate is like all the way down in the hundreds as far as eligible defensive edge rushers, right? I get it. And his 11.5 sacks were a product of just cleaning up, the job that Dexter Lawrence and like guys like Leonard Williams in his time here was able to do. And Kayvon Thibodeau was able to get around and clean it up, especially in Wink Martindale's system. You had 8-9 guys going after the quarterback. Kayvon Thibodeau was one of the guys to just, chase, get the quarterback that was already running out the pocket. So I get it. I get why you put him at 75, but I would give him a little bit more grace. I would. It's a little bit of projection, right? It's a little bit of guessing, educational guessing. But I think Kayvon Thibodeau is a lot better than we give him credit for. I know the pass rush win rate is really bad. I get it. But Wink Martindale's edge rushers just never look good because of how much they blitz. So you're not giving any responsibility to your edge rushers when you had everybody getting after the quarterback anyway. I think he's going to prove that here now in Shane Bowen's system where it's going to be a lot of 4-man rushes. So Kayvon Thibodeau, I think he should be around like a 78. I would give him like a 78, maybe 79. Not quite 80 yet. You got to see a little bit more. But I would give him like 78, 79. Jordan Phillips, I don't even know if this guy's going to start. I don't even know if this guy is going to be on the team. I completely forgot we even had him. I thought Nacho was going to be our guy, Raheem Nunez-Roches, and I thought they're going to try to, maybe Jordan Phillips stays on the team as a rotational guy, but I would have thought that Nunez-Roches would have been the guy to start. So they have him as a 70 overall. along with Jordan Phillips. Then you got guys like Azeez Ojulari, man. Like I said, Azeez Ojulari, he has like 16 sacks in like 20-something games. I mean, when he's playing, he's productive. It's all a matter of actually getting on the field. If Azeez Ojulari was a healthy player, I don't even think we would have gotten Brian Burns. We would have saved all of that money, and I think Azeez Ojulari would have been an extremely good player for us. I really think so. Maybe not like Brian Burns' potential, but Azeez Ojulari would have been a better player for your buck, honestly. He would have been a cheaper player and still would have got you some really good production. And maybe Kayvon Thibodeau could still be that number 2, and Azeez Ojulari could have been the number 1 guy. But Boogie Basham did a really good job in OTAs. He had his name thrown around a couple of times in a couple of days. So let's see what he does. Timon Fox as well. He put Tamam. I think he meant Timon. So there's that. He also had, look where he has the D-line. D-line overall, he has them in the top 7 D-line overall. Pass rush, top 8. You gotta love this pass rush though. Dexter Lawrence really does that because there's not a lot of nose tackles or interior players in general that can really do what he does in the pass rush. And then to have these guys coming off the edge, you got to rank him pretty high. D-line run defense, he has him as a B, 5th to 12th. Again, Dexter Lawrence really carries a lot of that weight, no pun intended, for the running game. It kind of drops off a little bit because of Brian Burns, and yeah, Kayvon Thibodeau isn't great in the run game either. So I honestly think that should be a little lower. Top 5 to 12 in the running game, I don't think so. I think it's more like, I would say a little bit more around 17 to 22, you know, somewhere around there. I don't think we're that good in the run game. Dexter Lawrence does a lot, but he needs help, you know what I'm saying? So let's see if he has anything else. Again, look at this. Look at the amount of effort he put in. So you guys got to watch this video. He does a lot of great explaining of what he thinks about every single one of these players, and also has some film to go along with it. Look at that. A lot of film to go along with it, and it just brings up excellent points, man. So you guys have to check him out, man. I'm just kind of reacting to all of this and kind of giving my thoughts. He gives a lot of love to Bobby Okereke. I call him Brian Okereke. Bobby Okereke, Bobby O, and a lot of people on Twitter, guys that aren't Giants fans, you know, that guys that watch a lot of film, really are looking at Bobby Okereke and what he did with the Giants in arguably, well, I don't think it's arguable anymore. This was his best season he's ever had as a professional football player in his first season with the New York Giants. He didn't even do the stuff that he did in Indy. And he's doing that stuff with the Giants, and this is his home, man. This is, I don't know what's going to happen in a Shane Bowen defense, but Wig Martindale really knew how to use Bobby Okereke. And so I'm happy with this signing, man. This was an absolute steal. I was happy when we got him. I'm even more happy that we still have him here. 83 coverage. He was great in coverage. Run defense was great. I had a bunch of tackles for loss. So yeah, I'm not complaining about this whatsoever. Has him as a stud player, just on the precipice of being a star. I think he could be a star this year if he builds off of last year. Okay. I know a lot of people are probably waiting for me to talk about Micah McFadden. Listen, you guys know what I'm going to say. This should be higher. Come on. This should be higher. Look at the stats of Micah McFadden, okay? Look what Micah McFadden did this year. He was, first of all, he was Defensive Player of the Week, okay? A number 2 linebacker was a Defensive Player of the Week. Who was it against? Was it against the Commanders? I can't remember who it was against, but he had an excellent week against the San Francisco 49ers, a team that absolutely beat us the hell up. Micah McFadden was like the only player that did well in that game out of the entire team, had like 4 or 5 tackles for loss. He was absolutely everywhere, flying around everywhere. He has multiple fumble recoveries. He's gotten multiple fumbles. I think he has an interception this year. Wherever Bobby Okereke was, Micah McFadden was also there. He was just a great assisting linebacker. Is he a number 1? No. I don't think Micah McFadden will probably ever be a number 1 linebacker. But damn, he is a perfect Robin to Bobby Okereke's Batman. I mean, they are so in sync with each other. If you watch them on film, they are like Frankie Louvu and Shaq Thompson with the Carolina Panthers when they were there. They were probably arguably one of the best linebacker duos in the league, And I mean, just watching those two guys play really reminded me of them. They fit the gaps so well. They played the run so well. They passed off receivers in the passing game so well with each other, and they were always there for each other when getting, when Bobby Okereke was stripping the ball, Micah McFadden was there to grab it. Same thing, vice versa. So I think Micah McFadden, to be honest with you, I'm not even trolling here. I think Micah McFadden should be like a nice 74. Really, 74. If I think Kayvon Thibodeaux should be a 78, because Marcus has him at 75. I think Kayvon Thibodeaux should be a 78, 79. I think Micah McFadden should be like 74 or 75, somewhere around there. I really think he's arriving as a stud number 2 linebacker, and a really good duo there with Bobby Okereke. Isaiah Simmons, I wouldn't mind putting Isaiah Simmons a little higher either. My only problem is Isaiah Simmons has zero instinct, and Marcus even talks about it as well. If you watch Isaiah Simmons, he just looks lost out there. I mean, he can move, right? He can move, especially if you use him on Madden, right? He's the guy I always use on Madden, especially when I played with the Arizona Cardinals. When he was with the Cardinals, I used to play with the Cardinals defense. It was always Isaiah Simmons. He can move very, very well. It's just that his instincts are not there. Like his coverage feel for the field is just not good. And he doesn't tackle very well either. I mean, he's kind of like an arm tackler guy that kind of wants to clothesline you but doesn't have the strength to do so. So there's that. All right, so here are our presumed starters in the secondary. Now, I don't know what he really thinks. I don't even remember what he said in the video. Like I said, it was a lot of information to gather. I'm trying to remember what he said. But I don't think he knows that Drew Phillips is going to be the slot corner. I think he thought Cordell was a guy is the slot right now, and they're trying to figure it out. The Giants OTAs clearly said, like I said, I don't know if he's saying this, but I'm just clearing it up for anybody that doesn't know. Cordell Flott is, right now, the job is his as the second boundary corner opposite Deonte Banks, who, oh my God, Deonte Banks has been doing so well in OTAs. I mean, he's been looking absolutely locked down, and going into last year, he was really underrated. I think 75 is okay. He has it down here that there's no overall grades for DBs. He just has coverage is king. So whatever your coverage is, that's pretty much your grade. Deonte Banks, I think, should be a little higher than this, but I get having him at 75. I get it. But he was really, he's underrated. I don't think people are really looking at him and remembering he had a really good rookie season. I mean, he didn't let up barely anything. He was great in the run game as well. Great on tackling, great closing on the ball. Had a couple of interceptions. I think he had 1 or 2 interceptions this year. So yeah, he was all over the place. I just really enjoyed watching him play on film. I mean, he was a treat to watch. Then you have like the slot. Like I'm not sold on Drew Phillips, man. I really think that was an overdraft. I really pray it's not the case, right? Every time I don't like a player, people, you gotta remember this, okay? Every time I don't like a player, I am hoping I'm wrong. I don't care to be right. So many people think that I am here. I'm making this content because I want everything I say, everything I think to be right, especially about this team. That is wrong, okay? If I did not like the Drew Phillips drafting, I hated it. I really, especially when we drafted him. I'm definitely feeling a little better about it now. But I was very familiar with Andrew Phillips going into this draft process. And he was one of the guys where I said, I hope the Giants don't draft this guy. Especially when I saw the top 30 visit. He was there. Okay? I don't like him. I hope I'm wrong. Okay? I hope I'm wrong. Especially with a slot cornerback position that we've had problems with for a long time. Okay, Darnay Holmes has been the starter there for a while. Although Darnay Holmes to me is a great tackler, he's just not good in coverage. And Drew Phillips is like the complete opposite, where he's great in coverage, is not a good tackler. I don't know which one I prefer. I really don't. So, all right. So see, run defense terrible. Cordell Flott with the run defense terrible. Cordell Flott's coverage grade, it's inconsistent. I think it should be a little higher than 71. But it's very inconsistent, so I get it. Tyler Newman coming as a 69 overall. over coverage grade for him. I don't even know if he's gonna start. We're not even seeing him start on the team yet, which is concerning just a bit because it is OTAs. It's very early. It is very early, but we're at a point where we saw Theo Johnson with the ones. You know, where we had Daniel Bellinger there. Why is Dane Belton taking the majority, if not all, of the first team reps is really, really insane to me. But he's assuming Tyler Nubin's going to be a starter there. I assume so too because he's a second-round pick. He's another guy I just didn't like. I don't care that Tyler Nubin is the best safety of this draft. That means nothing to me. That shouldn't mean anything to you guys because anybody could be the best at any position. Kenny Pickett was the best quarterback probably of his respective draft. Or was that the Brock Purdy draft? I don't remember. But let's just say that, right? Of the guys that were drafted between the first and third round, Kenny Pickett was probably the best of them. And he's not good, okay? So I don't care. And on top of that, he was the first quarterback taken, and by a long shot. He was the only quarterback taken in the first round. And that means nothing, okay? I don't care that he's the best safety in this draft. This draft class for safeties could be absolute garbage. He's the shiniest piece of garbage. What can I say? I don't think he's garbage at all. I like him as a safety. I just don't think he is what everybody says he is. Everybody thinks I hate Tyler Nubin. I said it. He is the best safety in this draft class. I'm just not in love with this. Marcus Whitman is a Minnesota fan. He watches Minnesota film. He is a fan of the University of Minnesota. Even he said he is not in love with Tyler Nubin like he was with Antoine Winfield, who was also from Minnesota. He said he wasn't banging the table for Tyler Nubin to be drafted in the second round. He said that. A Minnesota fan. So stop coming at me saying I hate Tyler Nubin. I see it in all my comments. Stop it. And then you got the depth players here. Trey Hawkins at 68. I hope he can get better, man. I think that's fair. I really hope he can really get that role as get a bigger role as a cornerback. Nick McLeod has been a pretty good player for us. 68 is okay. Like I said, I really can't ask for anything more than these grades because there are depth players. Like, I can't ask Nick McLeod to be a 74 because he's good when he plays. You know what I mean? So I'm okay with all of this. Darnay Holmes is why Marcus. This is where I kind of get confused because Marcus, you're not watching all these guys, right? You're not watching Javarius Owens in the run game and giving him a grade. You're just guessing. One thing I will tell you about Darnay Holmes is that he's an excellent tackler. I don't care what PFF says. He is an excellent tackler. And to me, that's what really kept him having that starting slot role is how well he was in the run game as a slot cornerback. He is a aggressive tackler in the run game and puts his body out there and has good technique. I would put him as a B+ tackler, not a C. And why is everybody else a B-? Aaron Robinson, we haven't seen this man play in 2 years, and he has a B- run defense? Come on, bro. All right, there's plenty of more to go over with that breakdown and deep dive that I don't want to just go over his entire video and kind of ruin it all. But like I said, it's almost an hour and a half of him using those graphics, going into a deep dive. I really enjoyed it. You guys, I'm sure would enjoy it as well. He goes over every single player, and he has other graphics as well that I didn't show there just to pay him a little bit more respect. I didn't want to take his whole video. And he also has about a 15-20 minute conversation with Bengal, and it was pretty good as well. So the link is in the description, guys. Thank you guys for watching. What do you guys think about this video? What do you think about the deep dive? And yeah, how do you think the Giants are gonna play up to what those grades were? That being said, leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I'm Kid Blue, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Woo!